Welcome back to Seed Story Cup. Today we will be crowning a champion, and we're kicking it off here with Super JJ taking on Show. I'm Matt Satterbull, joined by Raven and Life Coach for this one. Raven, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good. It's been a 4-day event on the last day now, and I'm really looking forward to this top 8. I think it's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, and Life Coach, you've been loving casting the Super JJ matchups. How do you think he's ready for today?
He was also awake very long yesterday, so I hope he could catch a good night's sleep and deliver the best gameplay today.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Some of Show's builds have a couple of tech choices in here that I think could be really interesting for this matchup. Raven, we were talking a little bit about that before we kicked the show off here.
Yeah, we see that Show from one of the matches that was streamed yesterday, I believe, has the Bully card in his rogue, and he's actually named the deck Bully, which is kind of funny, and it actually gains a coin when your opponent plays a spell as well. So especially if there's a rogue mirror coming up, or even, to be fair, the Dragon Priest can, actually gets a lot of spells down with the Power Word Shield and stuff. So it'd be cool to see how that interacts. So even if it makes an impact into this game.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be playing the card if he didn't feel like it made an impact. And Life Coach, I know you love evaluating cards sort of from their top-down perspective and finding where this value fits. Do you feel like Burgly Bully is a tech choice that could affect this matchup in a significant manner?
I think the Bully is a perfect choice if you want to be a little bit creative. And a 5-mana 4/6 is also not too bad because it has kind of soft taunt. Yeah? So your opponent cannot just ignore it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be very good if you're ahead. So if you're ahead on board, your opponent needs to give you at least 2 coins, and that's just amazing then.
Yeah, so we got the bans in. Super JJ has had his Shaman banned away by Show. Well, meanwhile, he's taken away the Warlock from Show's side. So it's Priest, Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior for Super JJ, and Mage, Rogue, Shaman, and Warrior for Show. Life Coach, right off the bat, who do you think has got the advantage given the lineups in this one?
Yeah, I guess it's very much even, right? It also depends a little bit on what Show's Mage will be. But yeah, I guess very break-even matchup, simply because there are, it's 4 classes against 4 classes, right? Usually there's not a significant edge in those.
Yeah, I think it's important to note as well, for those people who don't know, there is an additional deck now for the final 8. So there's a hidden deck that every single player has that hasn't been revealed yet, as it's only going to come out to play today. So we'll see some new stuff, hopefully. Like I said, I think Show's Mage was the new deck for him, I believe. So we could see what he's playing.
Yeah. If you take a direct look at the classes, the Warrior mirrors, the Rogue mirrors. So it's actually Priest and Warlock for Super JJ, and Mage and Shaman for Show, right? So the only question is Priest and Warlock better, or is Mage and Shaman better?
Yeah, I think some of that boils down to the builds on this one. If the Mage is a freeze Mage, I could really see this giving Super JJ a bit of trouble in a couple of these spots.
Yeah, whereas, freeze Mage is very polarized, right? It's super bad against a Warrior, and it's quite good against Warlock, and quite good against Priest, I guess.
Yeah, we did see a lot of Priest matches over the course of this weekend, though, do very well versus Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
Mainly down to the operatives, pulling out some crazy stuff, and also just the ability for Dragon Priest to just push them down, right?
That's right.
You can actually just chain into big minions that the Freeze Mage can't actually just deal with, so you can actually just apply quite a lot of pressure. Then the operatives are kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak, in terms of stealing. Ice blocks are probably the high priority, and then even just burn as well, which is what the Priest actually lacks.
That's right. I wouldn't even know whether I would pick Ice Block or prioritize that over Burn by turn 5, because if you can pick up something which can burn Doomsayer, that's a pretty huge deal. So but that's right. As a Priest player, you are very happy to have any of those Mage cards.
Yes, 100%.
For free.
Yeah, and it's the surprise factor as well. Once the secret's played, your opponent's going to know it's Ice Block, because you wouldn't pick that over Barrier, of course.
Pick Barrier and bluff Ice Block.
Oh my god. But also, it's just the, as you said about the burn, it's just a surprise factor, because a lot of the times Freeze Mage has to play, very specifically around what they're going to expect going forward, and then a Fireball comes out of nowhere, it changes everything. But we're not going to be seeing the Mage at the moment. The game's starting, and it's going to be JJ on the Rogue versus Show's Warrior.
Yeah, and Show, having the coin here, that can impact a lot of some of these Dragon Warrior draws, where instead of maybe wanting to look for like a 2, 3, 4, sometimes like a 2 and a 2 is a really strong opener. But versus Rogue, he's got to find early action to take care of board. He's expecting to see some Pirates, expecting it to be followed up with maybe SI7 Agent, and kind of get off the ground running. So both of these guys with some pretty reasonable opening hands.
Yeah, I like both hands, actually. The Backstab SI is going to be able to get some great work done later on versus some of the bigger drops from Show as well. So he's got like at least an initial answer to any of the early aggression minions.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this Alexstrasser champion on the 1-2 pirate, just an insanely good trade, so that's awesome.
Ooh.
Also curve for Show. I mean, until turn 3, so Show still needs to draw something.
Coin?
That counterfeit coin was not too shabby of a draw. I mean, not the greatest in the world, but able to snag the tempo and start pushing damage.
It means he can save patches, right? Otherwise, his turn would have been just hero power.
Yes.
And trade in. So he gets to save the patches and develop a 3-3 onto the board, which is going to really help out with the next turn as hero power patches can clear up this Fairy Dragon very easily.
Yep, start protecting the SI7 agent. Speaking of which,
Oh, there's another one.
Ooh, okay.
so now he's got to check to the Fierce Monkey or Frothing Berserker as well.
Yeah, I mean, there is still no straight drop. I mean, that was what we were talking about earlier. So Warrior, basically skipping the straight drop would be very devastatingly bad for him.
Well,
There is a Buccaneer, so that definitely helps a lot. I mean, not tremendously, but it's better than
It's better than
just
nothing,
yeah,
right?
it's better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
nothing.
and it thins out the patches from the build as well. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, what's important as well is Show's not got the most amazing of turns now, but his follow-up is kind of great. He can go Twilight Guardian into Corruptor because he has the Azure Drake. He's powering those, and then he can go into Azure Drake into more stuff later on if required. And also the Ragnaros is kind of difficult for the Rogue to deal with if JJ can't get ahead enough to be able to just either ignore it and go for the kill, or just try and sap it away maybe.
Oh, this game will definitely be decided before Ragnaros goes down. So you see that Super GG just has a super mega powerhouse turn next turn.
Yeah.
So he will be able to backstab the 1-2 Buccaneer into a Cold Blood on the SI and attack the 1-1 and playing SI himself. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think this is a great spot to use the Cold Blood here because you're pushing the 7 damage. You're contesting a Twilight Guardian that's potentially coming down, and Show has very apparently not had Fiery War Axe, and he's not in time for Corruptor. So everything to me spells pretty much the full push here from JJ.
Yeah, getting it out for turn 4 is actually huge because of, as you said, I remember the Corruptor would have been just a hard sort of, a hard counter to this SI7 agent with the Cold Blood. But
That's an interesting choice. So he's basically choosing the dagger to keep the dagger over dealing the damage, so the 2 damage. So
Yeah.
JJ could have dealt the 2 damage with the dagger. I think I would have liked that a little bit more.
I'm curious if there's anything to consider for when Show maybe just draws Fierce Monkey. And if he doesn't have the dagger up, this means that he can use the SI, the dagger, and get the Azure Drake down. So maybe making a bit of a hedge against that bet.
Yeah, but he didn't play the Fierce Monkey last turn. So he, Super GG has to expect a 4-drop here. If it's Corcoran, it doesn't matter. And if it's a 3-6 taunt, it also doesn't matter. So I would have really loved to push the 2 face damage there. Oh, these are just so insane draws. I mean,
2
Super GG is
backstabs, the Buccaneer, both SIs.
everything. I mean, if you looked at Super GG's hand, he really needed to top deck every turn, and he drew the counterfeit coin perfect in curve. Turn 2 to also activate the SI7. Turn 3 was also perfect. Turn 4 was just insanely bonkers, and now turn 5, this Azure Drake and the backstep will just probably seal it.
Perfect, yeah.
It's just so perfect.
yeah, having
And
to
so
be
well.
being able to save the Cold Blood, push for the 7 damage, and still, suddenly, the Corruptor kills the SI, but then the
Yep.
Azure Drake's still on the board, and then, with Fan of Knives for Super JJ to, at worst, cycle a card is going to be pretty nice
Yeah.
here.
I hope that the 1 damage won't matter that much, because again, Super GG missed out kind of 1 damage here.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would expect to see a fan. That's a good thing that you pointed out, actually. The difference between 11 and 12 right
12,
now
yeah.
is actually
Yeah.
really significant.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, obvious fan of knives,
Yep.
digging for something.
I wonder if he's ever considering just eviscerating and then attacking it with the dagger and then pushing 4 and saving the fan for the following turn.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't make sense. It's a spell power 10 of knives here, and you also want to draw your options. Oh, that's such a bad draw. Unfortunate. Yeah, I guess. Oh,
Okay. It's going to guard his Azure Drake here.
all right.
Works out that the 5 damage now guarding the Azure Drake is actually going to gain him more and actually finish off because
Yes, that's right.
he sort of like, what does Show really got as an answer to an Azure Drake at this point? There's not really a lot in the deck like Corcoran, but then you're like, okay, just we used his turn to just trade directly into my minion. I have a Tomb Pillager next, so looks like it's going to be okay. Violet Teacher comes in for JJ. I imagine we are just
Dropping
gonna
minions, hitting face.
yeah, I imagine we're just going to see the Tomb Pillager.
Easy
It's gonna be
game.
Good with the coin next turn. Sometimes these are how the games go as Rogue if you go this well. You can just go highly aggressive. And I just think that backstab off the Azure Drake was huge.
Oh, yeah.
The extra hit with the cold-blooded SI7 agent really opened this game up. And it's going to be very, very difficult for Show to be able to defend this.
That's
if,
also a
if
thing.
even possible.
It's also a thing about the life total. So Show is now under a lot of pressure. So he might also opt in to armor up at some point, and that also throws him behind in tempo again. So that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
He really doesn't have the opportunity to armor up, I think, for the next couple turns.
Yeah, he
so
doesn't, yeah.
he's kind of just living and dying by the draw for Super JJ here. So
And he has seen one eviscerate, right? So
Yeah.
there's at least some level of well, you shouldn't have the other eviscerate so soon.
yeah, I like the trade in here into the Azure Drake as well. Over the Tomb Pillager. If in the event Super JJ draws Auctioneer, he doesn't have the coin available, and the attack is effectively the same.
Swashbuckler, swashbuckler bash.
Swashbuckler.
Ink. Oh, okay, monkey. Still not bad.
Pay attention, class.
Yeah, now he can at least play his curve, so that's not too bad. Also doing this one weapon attack.
Do you kill the 1/1, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to stop the trade into the
Yeah,
monkey
yeah.
with the yeah. Show can't exactly use his face to tank any damage or he'll die. So the trade into the Lost First Mate is pretty nice. And the difference between 3 and 2 is almost unimportant
Yeah,
at this
that's
point.
right.
Wow, this is this is rough.
I mean,
He's got to gamble on the Ragnaros, I think.
does it matter?
No, it's not. What do you
Yeah,
mean, gamble?
so
He-
Frothing Berserker goes into the Fierce Monkey
So the
here.
Rag has to
Buccaneer
hit Violet Teacher.
hits into the Tomb Pillager. He uses his Rusty Hook to take out the 1/1, drops Ragnaros, hopes the Ragnaros hits the Violet Teacher.
All right.
I guess, yeah, that's the only way he actually lives, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any draw from the Azure Drake that's going to save him in this
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, this is right.
All right, so in true Hearthstone fashion, 50% chance will decide whether or not Show is dying this turn.
Okay, here we go.
If this Ragnaros hits the teacher,
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Oh my god, so this...
is it really about the one damage?
Oh, wow.
Eviscerate! Yay!
And that was exactly what Life Coach was about to point out, the difference between Super JJ using the dagger earlier or
Yeah,
using
yeah.
the SI7 agent. That one damage could have taken away that 50% chance for Show that game.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. What's crazy is without the Abyss, that game was just over the other way around.
Yeah,
next turn with
yeah.
Rag, the frosting was on like what 12 or something. Like that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, 13.
Oh, was it 13?
Yeah, from the
my
Rag hit.
God. Oh yeah, of course the Rag does the extra. Damage.
So that extra one damage, is this a matchup that you've mapped a lot and you just kind of knew it was going that direction, or is that something you could just see and count out in your head?
Well, I mean, it was not too difficult, right? I mean, again, we.
No, I
had
disagree.
this
It's very
proof-
difficult. It's very difficult, I will say.
What I'm saying is, if Warrior didn't have a 3-drop, what they do on 4 is either Corcoran or they do this 3/6 taunt, and you don't need your dagger against any of those two, right? So the question is whether your life is any important, because you also lose 1 life if you dagger attack the 1/1. And other than that, it's just 2 life or 1 dagger charge, whereas you probably want to dagger up by turn 6. So it's just +1 damage, right?
Yeah,
and as a rogue, it's just a tempo matchup. You just need to go face before you hunt, before you lose the value game.
Okay, so the tempo matchup is, I think, the strong answer there. Once he has tempo, he needs to push literally as much damage as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
In
thing
a lot of
was,
situations, is he willing to sacrifice even 2 of his own life for an extra damage when he's that far ahead?
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess in this position you would have even traded 2 or 3 life for 1 more
Yeah.
damage
Yeah,
on
because
your
he was
opponent's
ahead
face.
at
Yeah,
that point, yeah.
exactly.
yeah, when he skips to turn 3, you're feeling pretty great about the matchup in general. But we are moving on to the next game now, and it's going to be the Shaman here for Show,
Shaman.
of course.
Steady shot.
There is a throwdown button there that says no Raven.
But there is the
Shaman.
Swashbuckler. Ooh,
Yeah,
basic.
that one's not quite as good as it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to play for JJ at least. You know, it's a relatively low curve minion.
Get a spell power totem.
There you go.
It's pretty good with that backstab, pretty good with the Phantom Knives. Gosh, you imagine if Rogue just gets spell power totems?
I don't want to imagine that world, Admirable.
Yeah, this is a different world anyways, right? I mean, we see the Rogue playing against the Shaman, and Rogue will be the only player who will summon a totem in this very game.
Oh my god.
And Super JJ going to choose to backstab and take out this Finley.
Actually, it's not right, yeah. He's also playing Flame Tongues. But, yeah.
Some of the
They
basic
summon-
totems.
Summon a
Yeah,
basic
yeah,
totem,
yeah,
summon
yeah.
a basic totem.
Yeah. Wow, the Flame Tongues look a lot worse when you have a steady shot instead of a hero power that makes totems.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Wow.
this is a nice trade as well because it's kind of awkward now with this weapon. Just playing the Spirit Claws, not really mana efficient. You also, as soon as you have Hunt Hero power, you kind of want to be pressing that like as often as possible. Obviously, turn 2, you still want to develop minions, do stuff early on, but having just an off-curve play kind of sucks for Sho here.
Yeah, this is a game where I feel like Sho actually is at a pretty big disadvantage. I mean, the first step for the aggro shaman here is really present threats for Super JJ. And then once Super JJ has gone through his flurry of spells to try to handle them, then you have the hero power to follow up. So the fact that he has little to no early action, I think is spelling a really comfortable spot for Super JJ.
Yeah. Is there ever a consideration for JJ here, because he has the Fan of Knives, to just go coin into the Tuskar at this point? Just want to get something on the board. He struggled to answer it that time. So.
2 things for the Cold Blood target possibly on the following turn. He's got Sap for any significant presence that he can see on board. I'm kind of liking the Tuskar here.
Don't think you need to hold on to the coin when using it now could get you so far ahead in the game.
Yeah, how much consideration is there for turn 3 Violet Teacher in this matchup though?
Yeah, I guess not that much. I mean, I wouldn't mind any of those because the coin is also valuable. So I guess you can play it the one way or the other. He was also, under a lot of stress, I guess, because he was really checking out his options. But I also agree that the coin is just worth more than in other matchups.
Yeah, the thing to look at here is that how often are you presented with this option as a rogue? I mean, this has to be unfamiliar territory for Super JJ.
Yeah, but that's also just about this Tuskar turn. So what JJ can do now is first doing the Tuskar and then playing a teacher and the coin Cold Blood on one of these Tuskar. So either the Tuskar or the Totem. Yeah. So that seems to be much more appealing to me, especially because you also saw that Shaman didn't have active plays. Wow. So you can also negate that he might react to your minion. And at the same time, you can also set up so many nice things, also especially with having your weapon, your dagger up as well.
Yeah, Life Coach, when you see Sho play the Spirit Claws on turn 2 and then Hero Power on turn 3, what are you expecting to see from his hand at that point? I mean, he knows, Super JJ knows it's Aggro Shaman. What on earth is in Sho's hand in this spot?
Yeah, I guess stuff like this, yeah. I mean, you would probably anticipate this. I mean, there was no active stuff. There might even be an Aya in the hand. Yeah.
And there's even potential. We saw a game Zilay played yesterday where he had like Lava Burst, Jade Lightning. It's just like, you're never just going to do that to face this early, especially with the Hunt Hero power as well. So JJ's probably considering a lot of burn in hand, or something along the lines of these totems.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's also pretty good for him. Basically what we talked about earlier, Violet Teacher and to coin is a lot of minions. He already saw the Maelstrom coming down. Yeah. There is no reason to hold back at this very moment. He can just go Violet Teacher, just spawn infinite minions, and it's just insane.
It's very little can do, and very little Sho can really do about this at this point. It's kind of rough.
I'm guessing Jade Lightning is killing his teacher this turn. That's a big problem.
I think so as well, yeah. I think you kind of have to. Just feels so slow because even with that, there's still 3 tokens on the board. The dagger's got 2 charges. And obviously we can see that there's even like Fan of Knives to contest anything that comes down from Sho.
This is interesting. I like this.
Okay.
He's going to use the other Flame Tongue? Is he going to...
Yeah.
You want to use patches, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that.
It puts as much as possible on the board. The Jade Lightning would have only created a 1/1. Whereas this creates much more board presence as well.
This is an interesting one too. I mean, do you actually use the Spirit Claws here with Small Time Buccaneer on board?
Oh yeah. Interesting. Probably not, right?
Well, you're killing it a 1/1 to sacrifice 2 power of your own. So you're kind of like trading it's almost like trading a 2/1 into a 1.
Yeah, I think the thing here is in the consideration is that there's the minions actually deal with the Shield Bearer on the board now as well with the dagger. So okay. I don't mind this trade. You're also running like probably another Spirit Claws and 2 Jade Claws as well.
Yeah, I don't like it too much, but yeah, it's. I think it's a matter of preference. I would have probably just waited 1 turn and then go with the buffed pirate, and you can stay clear. Probably a 1/1. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have here? It's what Lava Burst, Fan of Knives. Doesn't look that bad. Another Fan of Knives. That will also definitely help in the future.
I mean, the second Fan of Knives is a pretty good draw.
But I mean, you could probably just Lava Shock the 2/2 and trade with a 1/1 and with a weapon and a Flame Tongue Totem away. Looks appealing. I mean, what else?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's pretty much what you have to do at this point.
You know, you don't want to give away too much about your hand by playing so quickly. Just trying to find anything else. I wonder if there's any merit to lava shock on the 2/2 and then maybe, or on maybe a flame tongue totem here even. Just run in the 1/1 to the shield bearer, eat a little bit of damage, then Phantom Knives and return kill on the other flame tongue as well.
Oh, okay. Spirit Claws is a good pickup.
Yeah, I do like the attack with the 1/1 though. I think Super JJ was anticipating that shield bearer trading in to his, but
Yeah, this is kind of crazy now. With the Jade Lightning still in hand, that's a decent amount of reach for Show.
It's really weird. So he could have basically attacked with the weapon. Okay, I see. No, I see what he's up to. Yeah, makes sense.
So prep it to fan. He's going to be able to do some damage here and draw JJ. Additional cards, see what he's got anything else to play with. Now he can Tomb Pillager into Abyss. It's going to be nice to help clear up as much of this board as possible at this point.
so 16 on the board versus Show with the steady shot. Sounds like one of those weird long like folktale songs.
So there's just 10 available this turn.
Yeah.
11 with the second hit of the weapon. He's really close. He's
Yeah.
one lava burst away from just ending this game.
Yeah, Show gonna take
now
it
it's
slow.
more.
Oh, okay.
Is he going face there?
No, I think
Okay,
it's always
I was
pillager.
like, I was really gonna be concerned there. I was like, you sure about that?
Oh, JJ is kind of trying. Like
Uh-oh.
he draw only blanks. Ah.
Yeah,
Nothing to add to the board this turn. That's a problem.
Sap the Jade Golem. Get that 1/1 off.
This is rough.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So anything that deals damage.
Yeah,
right
this
now
is kind of huge.
Yep. I mean, even as insignificant as this is right now, in terms of the.
With the Hunter Hero power, any additional damage is significant at this
Yep.
point.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Any, because, you know, the damage is very permanent versus a rogue, right? There's no healing, no real taunts unless they're pulled from a swashbuckler or something, so it's just crazy.
And also just in general, I mean, it's also a 2-1 on the board, which JJ cannot handle at this very moment. Both
Oh
Fan of Knives
God,
already being
that's-
out.
I mean, maybe you do sap the 1/1 at this point.
Well, I think he slapped the 2. Oh, okay, he's just going to quit. Okay, that's fair enough. And the problem is, with the Hunter Hero power, JJ didn't have enough juice to actually try and even force a kill in the next turn or so
Yep.
as well. So that was kind of rough. And I think, though, if the turn was going to continue, you do sap the deckhand because the weapon was used, right? So,
Yeah.
so at least it can't charge next turn.
I'm curious if JJ played this a little bit too conservatively, like trying to find too much value from a couple of these cards, and maybe should have just played with his life total a little bit more, used his resources a little bit more aggressively, because Show just kind of chipped him away, and he did not have a very strong start. It was Finley into steady shot, and then the turn 4 Maelstrom to take care of the Tusker.
Yeah. And I think the Jade Lightning to Tomb Pillager was really sort of backbreaking in that point because JJ had the Cold Blood as well to really sort of catch up if that Tomb Pillager lived. But it didn't. It just wasn't enough. So we're going to be moving on to the next game. It's going to be the Dragon Priest.
Yeah.
How many games have you two played of this deck?
Oh,
I think every time I see
200.
his stream, there's like it's
Yeah.
just Dragon Priest, Dragon Priest, Dragon Priest.
200 of those games. By the way, also to the last game, I think the turning point was just Blood Mage into Maelstrom. So
they
JJ
play.
created this Tusker, he played Blood Mage into Maelstrom, and then he could set up this big turn because he just got tempo advantage because of that. So that was pretty good, especially also because the one drop from the Maelstrom was the Shield Bearer.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
just insane.
Yeah.
It was a +3, +4.
If that was a 1/1, then suddenly it's
exactly.
not a problem, right?
Yeah, absolutely no problem. And also JJ blanking out in the end game definitely didn't help that
Yeah.
much. Okay, so we have the if the Twilight Webs comes down, that's insane. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it will come down unless Super JJ top decks a
Oh.
Dragon here. Nope. And that's huge. That's
So-
really huge because it's a pure tempo matchup.
Okay, so with Power Word Shield, you're never considering playing it on 1 because of Spirit Claws, because of
Yeah.
Maelstrom Portal, because of Jade Claws.
And because it's just your dragon in the hand you need. So if you now dump your dragon away, I mean everything in your deck requires dragon enablers.
Synergy,
So
yeah.
dragon synergy. So it's really, really bad.
It's not too bad.
That's actually a good pickup.
No, I mean, yeah.
Allows him to do something.
Yes.
Turn.
it's only a 1/5 though, but yeah, it's true.
Once again, the Finley. That card is so good, man.
He's gonna go soon.
I was honestly so surprised at how strong Finley was once I started playing with it. I was like, this card seems cool. And then the first time I got a life tap in Warrior, I was like, oh my gosh.
This is kind of silly.
This is not fair.
I understand why certain characters have their own hero powers and not others.
Oh, so really considering not playing Finley? No, that cannot be. You always play Finley here.
What's the
I mean,
what's,
life tap is just going to win so many games, right?
I was gonna say, is life tap the highest priority here?
Against Priest, I mean, you cannot really outvalue Priest anyways. So yeah, maybe.
I feel like the life tap is mostly just find your burn spells.
Yeah, I guess Life Tech is alright. Yeah.
It's the best out of these options, right?
No. Yeah, out of these for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but he's definitely the best. Yeah.
But I guess it's also the best anyways. So he didn't trade into the 1-5, which is also kind of interesting.
Okay, that cleric is not going anywhere soon. As a 1/8 now.
Oh yes, it will be. The Flame Tongue is just handling it. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
poor cleric. We had really
Talon
big
Priest is such a good minion. Oh my god.
we had really big expectations. It reminds me a little bit on the 4 mana card, which is also 1/8.
Oh
I forgot
my.
the name. The
Oh,
healer.
the tournament medic.
Yeah, the tournament medic. Ah, very good, Ray.
I remember when Fibonacci beat me with the tournament medics on ladder. I was like, what on earth is going on? Like, I was playing his Malagos Cold Light Seer Freeze Mage, and we got in a game, and I was like, I'm going to beat him. I'm actually going to beat Warrior. And he literally dropped Tournament Medic, and it gave him like an extra 8 points of healing this game. I was like, I'm dead.
I lost.
Oh, okay, this is so rough. But he's deciding to do this trade. Okay, interesting.
And the thing here is, I think for show, if JJ wants to trade into the Totem Golem, then he has to heal the Cleric.
Yep.
And if he heals the Cleric, then his next turn's a 2 mana turn, which he's probably pretty happy with the amount of board pressure he's got
Yep.
now. Potion of Madness.
Ooh, the
Yes.
powerhouse card. That changes everything. It might change some, right?
Yeah, that changes a lot. I mean, you just take Buccaneer, right?
You take
Yeah.
the Buccaneer.
Go into the Totem Golem?
No, you might trade first. You
Yeah,
trade.
trade the patches,
Yeah.
then go into Totem Golem.
Yeah.
Well,
really nice.
it does take away his turn 4 play, so he's going to draw his card first, it looks like.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's
Looks great.
Well, now he has the 2
That's the
dragons
haste
anyway,
draw.
so he can play the Whelp
Yep.
relatively freely.
It's
this
awesome.
turn.
It's awesome
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
that's a big swing turn.
Yeah, that's huge.
Give me this Buccaneer.
Potion of Madness has actually got so much work done every time I've seen it get
look at
played.
this.
Like, it's amazing.
Yoink.
I
Here we
take
go.
your minion and trade your minion into your minion.
It seems fair.
It's so awesome.
And it kept the Cleric alive, which is so important.
And what did Super JJ just do? He healed his minion, drew a card, played a 2/3 for 1 mana, and for 1 mana completely destroyed his opponent's board. Just awesome. Just insane.
Seems pretty good. Okay, is there anything outside of the operative at this point?
No, I guess you just play Dragon Operative.
Okay, options? Lightning
No,
Bolt.
Lightning Bolt is pretty good. I mean, it's the only option here, so. But it's very good because you need to be a little bit more reactive. The Lightning Bolt will also help against this Flame Tongue Totem. You still have enough life to work with. So that's, yeah, JJ is in a very awesome position here. Also with Show being overloaded, 3 mana, can only use 2 of those. And that's what I meant with the life tap being quite of slow, kind of not very good against, I mean, it is good against Priest, but you will never be able to outvalue Priest. So you're always life tapping and play something, and Priest can just do much more for the same amount of mana because of the powerhouse they have from turn 5 plus.
Yeah, and the second you have Overload and you on the live tap is obviously just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it's as you said, really limits the turn. Show has been able to clear some of this up. This Cleric is still alive.
Wow.
This Cleric's just a hero.
Whoa,
Yeah,
this is an insane draw.
No, that shaw's all right. I mean,
That doesn't just completely
he does have
wreck.
Twilight Drake in his hand, and the more cards he has, the more health it gets.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but this is what I meant with the Dragon Priest. Yeah, he can just completely outvalue, even against a life tap easily. I mean,
How good.
Dominating the board is what it's all about, because once
Yeah.
you have it, then all of your minions on board start to make up that extra value that you lost early on by your opponent having options with their board. So as soon as you start to scale and swing the board, where does the shaman grab it back? Well, the answer to that is just burn damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I mean, yeah, life tap really not doing much here. And here, Blackwing Corruptor, how would you play that? Blackwing Corruptor on the 4/3, and then
Are you lightning bolting the flame tongue?
yeah,
So
definitely.
It just doesn't really matter which one you use it on. Then you have both 6 mana being used turn.
And
take
you
up
might
the 3 health.
You might lightning bolt
You could leave the
Totem
Flame Tongue
Golem
go,
and attack
right?
it.
Just isolate the Flame Tongue.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I think I would Blackwing Corruptor and just
I-
Lightning Bolt the Flame
Yeah, I
Tongue.
think with the power you've got in hand, you can let the Tome Golem live a turn as a
Exactly.
3/4, right? Like, you don't really care at this point because you're developing the Corruptor, which the Golem doesn't actually even trade into well.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, I like this one very much.
Yeah, so you would strip 3 damage from Show this turn, but you would keep the Flame Tongue on board.
yeah.
Oh, for Doomhammer. Okay. All right.
Oh, the Twilight Guardian's going to do some work against the Doomhammer.
Giddy up. I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
not,
he
I'm
has
not
to,
taking
right?
10 from the Blackwing Corruptor, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, Show needs to do this here. Just Doomhammer
Yeah.
going face with everything, like bringing Super J to 15. But it's just, yeah, I mean, also against the Praise Hero ability, it's just not very good. All right, I mean, Super JJ can then taunt up. Oh,
How heavily are you expecting Rock Biters in this list if there's a Doomhammer?
yeah.
Pretty heavily. I would expect there to be Rockbiter in the list. That's sort of the beauty of the Doomhammer, right? Is it turns Rockbiter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would be
6
very
damage.
rare to have a Doomhammer and not Rock Biters, so it's just an additional consideration for JJ of how much he can play around with his life, but
Yeah,
I
but
think it's pretty free at the moment at least.
yeah, but if it's only one Doomhammer in the deck, I wouldn't be surprised to see no Rockbiters. So
That's
just a
true.
Doomhammer for the additional reach. But it's a little bit sad that if you, I mean, Rockbiter is a little bit sad if you don't have the Doomhammer. Doomhammer,
Yeah, it's
right?
pretty much
It's pretty
only
bad.
for the Doomhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a Dark Bomb-ish kind of card. Dark Bomb was a pretty good card.
A Dark Bomb that can't ignore Taunt.
Well, you know, I mean, not everything Shaman has could be the best card in the game.
Just most.
Yeah, I guess for JJ, he just utilizes 2 mana, draw a card. It's like the Warlock hero ability, just a little bit better. So instead of losing to life, you heal your minion.
Oh my god.
Restore 2 health to your minion. Draw
Yeah.
an extra card.
Okay, now he's
Emote.
playing the Taunt. That's interesting. He could have, or he might have also opted in for the Twilight Dragon, just because the Twilight Dragon is also addressing Totem Golem at the same time.
Yeah, this game is slipping away for Show now.
Oh, yeah.
Very heavily. That draw sometimes can be great and can win you the game. In this moment, there's just been Shadow Word Death sitting in JJ's hand all game.
He's gonna end up
ready
portaling.
and waiting.
Yeah, so he's portaling here for the Doomhammer, and then
Yeah.
1 hit from the Totem
Yeah.
Golem, 1 hit from the Doomhammer. And Blood Imp will actually save the Totem Golem from the hit on the Northshire Cleric as well. So that's a pretty rare situation where the Blood Imp is fairly good.
That's right. Cling.
And at this point, Show's just got to be looking for burn. Like, I can't think of any draws in his deck that are good besides
Yeah, he's on like a sort of a one-track strategy now, isn't
Yeah.
he? It's just like he just
Full
needs to
steam
end this
ahead.
game extremely soon.
Yeah, this Totem Golem has been doing a lot of work now because it wasn't dealt with. If Super JJ had isolated the Flame Tongue Totem, I think he would have gotten out of this.
I mean, with the heat, it's very interesting. Now Super J is really calculating about the Rockbiter, because if he would know that he can just go for the value game, he might even do weird things like Northshire Cleric heal, draw 2 cards, then just dropping the 4/9 Dragon and stuff like this, or 4/8 Dragon. But yeah,
Ultimate value.
ultimate value. But yeah, he can also he also has the luxury to just play stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's just looking at 3 minions.
Yeah.
You can pretty quickly get to the point of just overpowering Show at the moment.
Sometimes the turns just don't feel like they're 75 seconds. Like this one right here felt like it was like a 10-second turn. And
Oh, really?
The rep's just like, you gotta go.
Would you ever like play a show match live coach where you have 10 seconds, like constant Nosdamu? So you only have 10
yeah.
seconds to take a turn. That
Definitely.
would be fantastic. I would love
Blitz
to watch
Hearthstone is the format I'm waiting for.
that. That's Hearthstone.
Blitz Hearthstone.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was the Frodan.
Like
That's
like Blitz chess. Yeah.
Oh, those are of no help.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad right now.
Needs to be lava bursts. I mean, a lightning bolt's sort of like a lava burst. There's-
The small brother of Lava Burst.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there is still.
I mean, the
There's
potential's
still a
here.
chance. I mean, yeah, Show
Look,
could
Doom
just
Hammer
end this
does a
game.
lot of damage.
Yeah.
It's really hard to fight.
Bran, ooh.
3-man is occupied with that Shadow Word Death.
I'm going to go crazy here and suggest that Super JJ is going to heal himself this time, and he's not going to go for the value card draw. There we go, yeah.
Which I...
No, come on, live coach. I know you like your value, but when you're on 10 against a Doomhammer and there are going to be 3 cards in the Shaman hand, You need to heal yourself, right?
The thing is that by drawing 2 cards, you can also accomplish quite a lot. By drawing 2 cards, you can draw Dragon and Operative into Taunt, like the Feral Spirits. You can get your second 3/6
Oh
Taunt
my
on.
gosh. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's lethal.
Yep, there we go. The tap ended up working out in the long run. Lava Burst into Lightning Bolt. JJ is not happy about that. And, you know, he pretty much had that game wrapped up a little bit, but the value plays kind of, you know, with the clerics, the repeat heals just pushed him just low enough to be a little bit open to that kind of burst damage. The Doomhammer game worked on even without Rock Buyers.
I think that's the big thing about it is just the reach from Show's build. I mean, drawing the Doomhammer, having the life tap to pick up 2 cards a turn, eventually he just found critical mass. And that's a lot of what the Shaman strategy thrives on is it doesn't really matter what your cards are. If they don't just heal, my cards kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, I also have to say that I guess the 3/6 Taunt was quite a blunder. So how
How
this
like the Twilight Drake and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because how this matchup works is you first gain board control and then you block off the damage with the taunt. You don't play your taunts in order to fight for board control because they are doing exactly the same like the Twilight Dragon, right? So why should you waste your taunt? I mean, yes, he could have hit you 1 time more in the face, but it's obvious that he needs to deal with your dragon anyways. So first you you seize the board control and then you force the Shaman to do his burst spells on your 3/6 Taunt.
Yeah,
right?
I think the weird thing as well is the Twilight Guardian was against just a Totem Golem, right?
Exactly.
So like the Totem Golem doesn't even die to the Twilight Guardian trade. So you know it leaves him open to get a little
Exactly.
bit more value. It doesn't
Yeah.
actually die. Whereas
Yeah.
the Twilight Drake, there was only a Totem Golem on the board.
That's right.
So it's like 3 damage.
He was still at 20 or 21,
yeah,
so that
yeah.
was still very sufficient.
Look at how much damage the Totem Golem did that game. I mean, it got in like 3 hits. It's a lot for 2 mana. And Super JJ going to Soulfire straight away onto a Totem Golem from Show, and that's going to leave turn 2 stranded.
That's really huge. This Show doesn't have a turn to deploy because it also gives him no deploy in the turn 3, so at least not being mana effective. And that's really huge, which means Show will float 2 mana here in total.
And JJ just threw away the coil, which out of his hand was pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
With the Demon Wrath and Hellfire, even the BGH for the 7/7, throwing the coil was actually perfect with that Soulfire.
Yeah, I mean even this draw was pretty good for
It's
for
looking
Show.
good.
This pirate is just insane.
This is a tough turn. I think a lot of his options look really good.
Yeah. I just like the Vendor.
Well, but he only heals you for 2.
Yeah, I'm
Get
just thinking,
a
do
3/5.
you want to use like AoE on this board? I don't know.
If you play the vendor, a single weapon leaves you for the trade against the little pirate. Maybe you even have to tap. I don't know.
I don't think you can.
Man, I think-
I don't think you can Shadow Bolt the Flame Tongue, right? I think that like feels
No,
like
no, no, you
yeah,
never
that's
do
like
that.
that's too much. I like the Vendor.
Vendor's alright, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I like it.
I think all of his plays aside from the Shadow Bolt really have merit here because he's looking at Life Tap and Shadow Bolt in following turn. So getting the Vendor down, if you can turn the Vendor into a taunt, I think you're pretty happy with that.
Show will, this.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, this is
here we
also
go.
what I thought. I mean, the 7/7 is especially good against Warlock before turn 6, so he just wants to get it down, but he will get heavily punished.
Wow.
This game is over here now. BGH.
Boom.
Boom. Show is like, no.
And now just being able to trade happily into the Flame
Yeah.
Tongue means like, look at this board. Even the 4/2 doesn't die. It does now, of course, because of the claws pickup. But still, the Refreshment Vendor is going to get so much value. And the best thing is, even if the board is cleared here and Show regains some form of control, there's Hellfire and Demon Wrath. Just to completely blow out the board here. So this is looking really, really
he's
good
doing
for
the
JJ.
Feral Spirits instead of the Spirit Claw trade.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
That's really surprising because the vendor gets such a clear trade. Show will be overloaded. So this option really doesn't seem very appealing.
Yeah, I mean, his turn is trying to be a multi-turn setup, so he's assuming BGH Professional Vendor are going in here, and then he's returning with Jade Lightning, and then trying to get some amount of damage pushed through.
Yeah, but still. Oh, Kazakus. Kazakus is so important in this matchup. I mean, like in every matchup, of course. Yeah.
You can just win though off Kazakus, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
like the 4 damage, if the 5 mana, like 4 damage AoE
Yep.
and like res
Yep.
minions or whatever, like that just destroys the Shaman board almost all the time. It's
Yeah.
huge.
You pick 5 here, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. Summon 2 friendly minions, gain 7 armor. Do you like the minions here?
Oh, it's always minions.
Because the minions he's played are actually pretty
Yeah, yeah.
decent minions as well.
Always minions.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's just sick. And yeah, so minions and second of always ahead. It's so insane. This is nuts. This is nuts. If you ever want to have any potion, it's this potion. Yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
it's the sickest potion.
Especially because he's already ahead. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll just double check the potion just to make sure. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not that I was doubting you. Not that I was
No,
doubting
no,
you,
no,
but
sure.
it's just good to double check sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
You never know.
I like a board of 4 minions or 3 minions, which all have like 3/7, 3/7.
They're just immortal at this point. Like,
They're
they'll
just
just
immortal.
never die.
Yeah, that
Oh
chose
my
not winning
god.
this game.
Especially when like one's a refreshment vendor.
Hey!
And a small minion. This is insane. This is the absolute
Get him.
overkill.
Sometimes.
This is the absolute overkill.
Oh, the BGH and the refreshment vendor is insane.
This is
Well,
just so crazy.
Yeah, I think you can. Okay, so with this hand, is show just on Smart Clive. You might play the eye this turn and
Play
then just be
Aya.
like Jade,
Yes.
lightning bolt, lava burst.
That is the
cross
only
those
hope.
fingers.
Is
yeah.
cross fingers, hope for burst.
You have to. You have to. Look at this. And now Hellfire is so much better as well. Any AoE is fantastic because your minions only get scratched by AoE.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh my god. Gonna go for the Shadow Flame this turn. Oh, the spell as well.
I mean,
Who are you, Aya?
even
No
this
one.
ooze, I mean, Super J just has it all at this very moment. I mean,
I am amazed that Show is down for 52% on the vote here. By the community vote to who's winning this game.
the vote is always a little bit delayed. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see after this.
I think chat's just really fickle as well.
So this last series I cast yesterday, I actually managed to, an 100% loss for, I think it was Reynard. I actually managed to get the chat going from a 10% for Reynard all the way up to 80 by the before the concede. I was like, come on, show Reynard some love, guys.
yeah, that's lethal. So,
Yeah, that is just going to be game. Oh my god.
well, that's also a form of lethal.
Yeah.
Like Reno says heal you to full, but what it really says is take your opponent to
Concede.
0.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow, and that game was just taken out of Show's hands, really. JJ pretty much stomped there with a fantastic opening. I think even though there was the BGH, the Kazaka's potion as well, working out extremely well, that Soulfire not discarding the 2 AoEs in hand
Yeah.
was pretty huge as a backup plan more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, how it turned out, everything, it was
The stars
perfect,
aligned.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
perfect overkill, right? I mean, the BGH on a 7/7 usually alone wins you the game.
Yeah.
Okay, then Kazakus with this potion, if it works out well, alone wins you the game. And then there was also this ooze, destroying the perfect weapon.
Put them
also.
all in.
Yeah, it's just so crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely nuts. We are going to go in.
To me, a lot of it was the discipline to Soulfire on turn 2. Like instead of life tap
That's
and
a
then
tou-
going
that
to
is a tough
Soulfire,
Soulfire.
being able to Soulfire right there, saying if I leave this totem golem on board, I can get within reach. I need to take this risk and hope that he whiffs on his turn 2. Like having that discipline, I think is really important because I think a lot of players would have gone for a life tap into a Soulfire and then try to play something on the following turn.
Yeah, the Soulfire, especially just with Hellfire in hand. I mean, Hellfire just resets the board against Shaman almost all the time, so definitely risky, but it definitely paid off.
So we do have potential for one of those rogue hands with the Edwin Van Cleef here.
Yeah, but on the other hand, we also see JJ having access to the turn 6 Reno Jackson, which is the key card in this very matchup. So really surprising how, really looking forward how this will turn out. I mean, as you pointed out, the Rocket is pretty good, but the Reno Warlock hand is also pretty bonkers. Just
You-
tapping here and then playing the second rate Bruiser next turn, going into a potential Mind Control tech or Hellfire, and then turn 6 Reno should usually also be insanely good.
Yeah. So the potential for second rate bruiser.
Yeah, just
be shut off,
vanished. Yeah, sure, but still.
Should Cho be attacking with the dagger here, do you think, or is this important to be holding for the next couple turns?
I think he is the next 2 or 3 turns always something to do, so it's all right to keep it. So tap into Mistress here for sure. Oh, he wants to taunt her up? Really? No.
Is there another 1-cost card that could change his play?
So many possibilities.
It's really...
Okay,
Okay.
it's going to turn it up.
I'm a little bit surprised because he wants to have minions on the board with the second rate Bruiser, Mind Control Tech, and Hellfire. So basically his whole hand says, please play minions, don't trade any minions, or don't take any minions away from the board. But yeah.
Do you think he's just scared of one of those rogue starts with like Cold Bloods now and, like anything like super
And then conceal.
aggressive? Yeah.
But then you still have the
That's
Hellfire,
Hellfire,
right? Yeah.
Or maybe just, I don't know, I was going to say maybe just like the fear of a big Van Cleef being unanswerable. But you know, how often can you really ever play around a big Van Cleef turn? I don't know.
Usually not.
Yeah, it's sort of, it happens or it doesn't, right? Like,
Okay. Easy Hellfire probably. Right. Yeah. Does this change anything?
I don't see so. I mean, this is about as good as Hellfire's getting in the matchup.
Yeah, I guess it's an easy Hellfire.
Yeah, your opponent's playing often Tomb Pillager or Azure Drake on the following turn. You have the Shadow Bolt set up for that.
But then your MC tag and your second Red Bruiser also kind of strand off. What's the other option?
you
The
could
other
just bruise a pirate.
Yeah.
With the dagger.
Now, he does have Reno, so I mean, eating the damage is not like inconsiderable at this point, I don't think.
Bruiser Pride seems to be an option at least too. But I also like the Hellfire more because you also don't deliver him targets where he can react on. Yeah.
Man, you know, now that you're saying it, I actually think I do like the Bruiser and the Corsair.
Yeah, it's good. I
think
mean,
that
you
draw
destroy
did
the
change
weapon.
it.
Yeah, you get patches out of your deck. That's a big thing. And you kill the weapon, which makes the pirate 1/2, which is also a big thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly didn't really imagine the day I'd see pirates in Warlock.
Wow.
So we've got you to thank for that.
Honestly, and like taking out the weapon was a big deal here because of the small-time Buccaneer.
Are we going to
So-
see Coin Thanos? Coin Dagger, okay.
Yeah.
Coin Dagger into Van Cleef?
I actually don't know if I like that more than just the Thalnos and the Edwin Van Cleef.
I mean, they-
Oh, he saw BGH.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's silence in the deck as well. So there's no reason to make Edwin 8/8. This is much better.
BGH is the factor for me. Especially it's sticking out just in your mind. You're like,
Yeah,
just played a
after last
7/7
turn.
and he killed it with BGH. Thinking emoji.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of tough. Is there ever tap into Shadowbolt Van Cleef and work into a Hellfire next turn? Or are you too afraid?
That's a lot. I mean, you're staring at 10.
Yeah.
So if you tap,
I mean, what?
he's 8 away.
I mean, what else do you
And then
fancy?
if you
at this
Hellfire,
point?
you're at 5.
Yeah,
So that
tap
means
is
Eviscerate
alright.
kills you.
I like the tap very much. There's already some kind of BGH action.
Do you want to Shadowbolt onto the Cleave?
That's super difficult. I mean, JJ doesn't know the hand of Show, so probably. No, probably you have to, right?
How is this Van Cleef ever going
yeah,
to
that's
die?
what
That's
I'm
my
saying.
problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because even though this pushes you into a Hellfire next turn, the Van Cleef will never die if this is okay, wow, he's going for MCT.
Oh, I don't mind this play. Like this, he can at least choose for next turn. And he's just hoping not to die. And
So sometimes keep him from having to Hellfire on the following turn as well. I mean, the tap, again, putting him at 18, and he's facing down 10. If he Hellfires, he goes to 5, and he's dead to Eviscerate. So sometimes the Mind Control tech prevents him from having to Hellfire in this spot, I think. Or opens up situations where he can Hellfire better in a situation like this one.
Oh, he will always play the Reno first. Yeah. I mean, the plan is not to Hellfire next turn. The plan is to Reno into Hellfire
Into a
to
player
then.
after,
Yeah,
okay.
right. So
Yeah, to me, that's what the life tap spells, is that you do intend to read.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going to 5 and like, oh, maybe I can Reno next turn.
Cross
Instead, you go to about 15.
Yeah. And then the problem as well is like the Reno on 7 is bad just because of the 1 mana float. It's kind of awkward.
and he also already had the Enforcer, right? So he could have played the Shadowbolt on the Edwin.
Yeah, build it into this way.
Yeah, taking the damage and then basically preparing the Abyssal Enforcer. I actually didn't like the MC tech at all. I would have probably Shadowbolted Edwin. Just because you knew that you can set it up like this.
And there's nothing else in your hand, right, that even comes close to deal with Edwin at this point.
And now that show's seen the MCT,
Attention class.
free to Violet Teacher.
It's interesting that he... I greet you, right? I mean, yeah, they greet with him. If he produces the 1/1 token and plays into MC tech, that's kind of a little bit surprising, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's already seen the MCT.
Yeah, the MC tech was played, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Yeah.
So the other way, he would.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it's already out.
Oh, Harrison. Nice.
Yeah, this is gonna be. This is looking like it's still up in the air a bit. Super JJ with the Shadow Flame and the Abyssal Enforcer can still recover.
Yeah, well, this is good, right? It doesn't matter how many tokens are made for show now. Like, the Abyssal Enforcer is just going to clear this up.
Well,
It'll be
that
a little
cold-
bit awkward, of course, with the gadgets are now going just out of reach.
Yeah.
But that had to be JJ's plan, right? Just like drop Abyssal next to him.
What does he need to draw? I mean,
No, I mean, yeah, JJ can pretty much do nothing about that.
Yeah, he needs to draw something that he can Shadow Flame away. He's like Dark Peddler
my
into
God.
Abusive or Power
Yeah,
Shadow.
yeah. I think he has to,
He
right?
needs to draw a Jungle Panther.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Reynard's playing a Jungle Panther in his Reno luck. Maybe he's thought ahead.
Mortal Coil would have been an okay draw as well
Just
with the
so-
Abyssal Enforcer, but
Yeah.
Tentacle and Azoth does. I mean, just
I mean, it does the same as Shadow Flame in the Peddler, right?
yeah.
Except worse because it deals to your own minions. So is there a coil into the PO in the deck?
Yeah, I mean, he can coil the 1/1.
Yeah. You might have to. I don't see any other option here.
He can pick up Soulfire maybe. And he's got to kill the 7/5. 7/2 rather. Oh,
The
this,
problem is that still leaves if you leave the Gadget Zen up this turn, I feel like that's just game anyway.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think he has to coil into PO and just Shadow
Yes.
play him.
Here's to hoping.
I mean, there is nothing.
Coil.
Right?
Okay, so Show needs 6 damage. There's 2.
Yeah, it's looking like a Blood Mage fan to me.
Yeah, it looks pretty appealing. I mean, with Reno Jackson already out.
Yeah, I
don't-
mean-
yeah.
There isn't enough sustained healing left.
It is a matter of time.
Okay, what's the second draw? Oh, crap.
Do you ever hold this with the second Auctioneer in hand?
Yes.
Just
Do you
bucket
want
your
to play
dagger?
SI?
Yeah, I think so.
Come to 4.
No, I like the Buccaneer.
Why? So you can dagger?
Yeah.
Sure.
3/2 and point damage. And then you get 2 more from the SI next turn. I don't think it matters much.
No, me neither.
Oh, you know what? If he knew that Harrison was in Super JJ's deck from earlier matches, that'd be a reason to not dagger.
You saw Hellfire, but
he
you
knows
didn't see
these as
Demon
well.
Wrath, right?
Yeah, you've not seen Demon Wrath.
Yeah. So Demon Wrath is punishing the 3/2, but Hellfire is already out. So the 3/3 is better.
Nah, I think 3/2's better.
Oh,
No, against
Yeah, he
Demon
just
Wrath.
pushes and kills him next turn.
okay. Well,
Because he gets the extra damage from the dagger. And then he has the SI to finish off the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Demon. Yeah, true. Okay, well, didn't matter anyway at this point.
Yes,
as
Leroy is
Show takes
killing
the
it
game.
off.
Yeah, Show looks like he needs to take a quick break. This is a grueling 7-game set between these two.
Does Show know it's a 7-game set? Show's walking out like he's. Show walk out like he's won?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think.
Nope. I don't know.
Oh, I think.
No, I think.
I think he doesn't know.
Hang on, this is.
No, he does know.
Okay. It's
yeah,
just
he's taking a
about
break.
to Okay, cool.
He was kind of
It's-
looking
it's
at us
because
like.
he looked at us like, hey, can I come over for my interview now? It's like,
Well,
No, it was
now
not
in
the interview.
hindsight, his look is, I know it's best of 7.
It's like, I got this. It's fine. Okay, so Show in a pretty good position with this rogue, I feel. What's actually left for JJ?
So take a look. JJ's dropped with Priest. He's dropped with.
So
with
it's JJ's rogue and warrior.
And yes, his Warlock. Or no, right?
JJ just lost with his warlock.
Yeah, the Warriors left, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah. Oh, yeah,
left.
the warrior's left.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So the Warrior needs to handle the Rogue, which is very possible.
Yep.
And then, and this is interesting, if it's Freeze Mage, I mean, we see that Show is leading 3-2, so usually that means a 75% win rate for Show. But if it's really Freeze Mage, I guess it's nearly 50-50.
So there's two things I look at here, which is number one, Show has been a big Tempo Mage player in the past.
Oh,
and
Tempo
that-
Mage.
That's a deck that
Interesting.
it doesn't really feel like it's too strong right now. It's like really feast or famine draws where you're almost out of control of your own fate a lot of times. But the other thing is that Show's also a big Reno player. Like, I'm curious if this is ever potential to be a Reno
Oh my
mage.
god, Reno Mage would be so much fun.
I think it's Freeze Mage or Reno Mage. If it's Reno Mage, well, then obviously it's not very good for JJ. But if it's Freeze Mage, he really only needs to win this Rogue matchup, and then he will have a very, very huge percentage, whatever that is, 70-80% against the Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Tempo Mage just hasn't even really been played since the expansion, right? There's so much
Also, it's
just
just boring.
yeah, there's just so much better stuff. I've just seen like way more Reno Mage than Tempo Mage.
That's because it's more fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Hearthstone is about fun.
But Show's a lot about winning too. Like he will just play powerful decks when the time calls for it. And I don't think Tempo Mage is in a spot where it's like Tempo Mage is bad. I think it's just we've had Tempo Mage for like ever
while.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time since that we've had Tempo Mage, and I think it feels like you're just almost bored of that deck. But when it comes to winning tournaments, that deck definitely has draws where it's like, do you beat this? And then even when they take care of your board, you're like, yeah, 2 fireballs.
Yeah.
That can work.
I guess tempo match is just completely out of the question because
Yeah, I agree.
all other classes just get tempo match didn't gain anything, yeah, and before that it was
Okay.
also only tier 2.
Here's a
and
question.
Other classes get patches, right?
Well, this is my question. Could you ever fit
Patches in a
pirates
tempo match. Oh,
match?
yeah,
There we
that's
go.
right.
If there's anyone that can do it, it could be you.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's an okay deck versus patches stuff. You take some more damage, but the basis of your turns are all Flame Waker turns anyway. So versus aggro, like you needed Flame Waker to beat all of those matchups.
Imagine how many more decks Pirates would be played in if Blingtron was still a card.
Probably not too many more.
I think people would play it.
But it gives your opponent a weapon.
You don't care. You have your Pirates there. It's fine. That's where you just roll the better weapon.
Blingtron
okay?
always does give you the availability of your opponent gets Curse Blade and you get Gorehowl.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See? Clear win condition.
Yeah, I mean that's only what is there like how many weapons are there?
If you play Bram Blingtron, it cycles the weapons out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Be so sick if you could discover
Weapon, destroy the weapon. Oh, you can get a
Blingtron
4-2 from the Hammer of Twilight. You could blow up your own Hammer of Twilight
Oh
with
my
4-2
God,
and
that
then
plays-
on top of it. Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
well let's get away from silly,
Insanely-
weird, wild talk.
Insanely hand for Super GG here. Yeah, holding Small Time Buccaneer Fairy works exactly the cards you
Oh,
need.
wow.
And into Alexstras's champion, you will draw your dragon, it's insane. Cochrane lead also pushing those face damage, Rogue cannot heal. Rogue also being first strike with his Advent Bank Cleave. Coldblood also being a dead card. It really looks grim for Show, unless he gets good cards from the Mulligan, but he didn't, so yeah.
Yeah, and in this matchup. Never mind. This has just come from bad to worse.
Show is completely blanking out. Evo! Inner Rage on your 1-1's very good. Yeah.
Show is feeling some inner rage at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a doozy.
JJ's just
man.
a dragon
He just-
away
Yes.
from demolishing this game, I feel.
Show's way to win here is draw Conceal. If he draws Conceal, he can play the Tomb Pillager on 5, and then, or I'm sorry, Tomb Pillager on 4, and then move into the Cold Blood Inner Rage and hope that the Conceals can bring him out of it. But he's going to use the Inner Rage to wipe out this Buccaneer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Fair
reasonable.
enough.
Yeah, that's reasonable. He has Cold Blood with patches as well, so at least he can, make something work.
Yeah.
Oh,
Patches.
there's
Like,
the dragon. Oh,
my.
man. Oh, it's so sick.
Okay, so is the plan for JJ now to just ignore anything Show does and just punch him in the face?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It feels like it. It
Yeah,
feels like
maybe.
it.
If you could spot something better, I'd like to see it.
No, I would just cover the board up. It's like the pictures, you just cover the board, just have the portrait highlighted.
Oh, Show is playing the parrot without the charge. That's kind of interesting to me. So...
There's a ghoul this turn.
well, I can't.
A good or whatever, anything.
It's not
Then
really
the Cold
beating
Blood
anything.
strengths, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really sure that Show will use this Cold Blood in combination with the patches as a 2-mana 5 damage removal. So really surprised. with
Yeah,
this
I don't
play.
think he can win that way. I think he literally has to find a way to deliver damage with Cold Blood and then just Conceal. Like I honestly think that Conceal is the only way he's winning this game.
But Conceal is doing nothing, right? I mean, if you
Not if he
conceal,
gets a 9 power out.
yeah, but it's nothing. I mean, it's he's not.
But
Show's
how
behind.
does
in
he
the
win the
race.
game though? Like if he trades the patches and the Cold Blood, then he's left with Tomb Pillager versus a hand of 6 cards. You can't win the game that way.
No, he just doesn't. But
Right.
He just doesn't win the
Go
game.
all in on the Cold Blood and hope it works.
no, but the plan is to stabilize into Auctioneer, right? So this his only plan Show has is stabilizing into Auctioneer into coin preparation actions, and he doesn't need Cold Blood for that. So Patches and Cold Blood would have bridged the time until he gets to this turn 6, where he can make Auctioneer miracle turns, and he just forfeited this option.
Okay, so there's going to be some value trades going on. There's
There's the Auctioneer. Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's a good
to be fair, the Patch is also still alive. So yeah, but it's still the Tomb Pillager, right?
yeah. Yeah, and now,
Oh.
into Abyss to actually have higher hopes of keeping the Tomb Pillager alive then.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
I'm
if-
still all for this. I still like going all in on the Cold Blood.
what, even with the gadgets out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You have coin for gadgets and wants Tomb Pillager.
No way.
Like,
You get this is 9 power. Like the Korkron's now dead. Like he's gonna run over this Twilight Guardian. This is the play.
well, the thing is, now he can't activate Cold Blood. Well,
The hell he can't. He's got that
okay,
Tomb Pillager.
okay, he can
Let's
now.
get him, Show.
Oh my god, he's going for it. Okay.
Of course you can.
He needs to now because he needs to be able to kill off the Drake, right?
Yeah, he needs to now.
Yeah. And now he has the coins anyway for next turn, so at worst he just gadgets and coins.
So
It's
there's his
concealed.
Blackwing coming down, so that's also good, pretty good. Anyways,
Can trade double coin with Gadget's End now.
This Fan of Knives not very appealing. He needs to play the Auctioneer, so if he plays the Auctioneer... Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Auctioneer didn't hit the board there.
Yeah. Just because you had 2 coins and he
No.
would have been Auctioneer on an empty board.
He is following through on this game plan, which is get there. But Sap in this spot, I don't think is worth it. Like to me, this is.
But he has to sap now, right?
No, I don't think he does, and because he's got the Tomb Pillager on board, I think if he trades into the Black Wing Corruptor or he goes face, it opens up the option for the Auctioneer coin sap.
Yeah, but he
on the
could have
following.
done that and left his
Oh.
turn with an Auctioneer alive.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think he has to sap now because otherwise he just has
Oh,
the
he wouldn't
JJ.
have had the sap. He would have had the Fan of Knives instead. I think he should have played the Auctioneer. I will say that.
Yeah, but now I think he has to sap because if he doesn't, and then he trades or he doesn't, then, well, the Corruptor trades, whatever, and then JJ's just left with 6 mana to do with what he wants.
Right, and that's when.
And then he
Show
has to
goes
rely
into-
on Gadgets and Coin
Yeah,
miracles.
yeah.
Like,
Gadget Sand Coin Sap.
In this case, it was
what if,
just-
what if he plays 2 minions? What if he plays 2 3-drops?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
You got
saying.
me.
Like, with JJ having so many cards in hand, I think you need to sap here and keep the Tomb Pillager on board.
He does have to find a way to kill him as well. I honestly
That's
don't
what
want to
Gadget
attack him
stands
face.
for. It's fine.
Oh, he even...
Hey, just dagger it up. Oh, wow.
I think he
War
missed the
Axe
attack,
into Blood to Ica. This is insane.
it's super insane. It's super insane.
Now the Tomb Pillager's alive. Sorry, the Corruptor's alive. So much damage.
Yeah, not looking good for sure
What
here.
does Gadget's and Coin Sap do now, Admirable?
I mean, to be fair, I also think that the Auctioneer was a very, very must call in Show's place on turn 6. Because I also just don't see good ways or many ways for the Warrior to address this Auctioneer.
Yeah.
So there's a second Cochrane lead, but it has to be the second one. And other than that, there's not much. I mean, there's Blood to Ica Fire Works, which both cards Super GG doesn't have at the very moment. He already played Black Wing Corruptor. So the chances of this Auctioneer surviving this turn would have been very, very high. Probably 70, 60,
As high as you're
70%.
probably going to get on an, like on an empty board.
Yeah, it's
right?
insane,
in
yeah.
this matchup, it's an empty board.
Yeah, it's insane.
only on 6 mana. Like it's so high.
It's nearly like a conceal for free. So yeah,
So are we going to see the sap on? Yeah, the sap onto the cultist here. You don't really want to give the battle cry of the corruptor an option because the battle cry on the cultist you presuming can't happen anyway because it didn't happen last turn, right?
yep.
Okay, well there is now a cold blood again in Show's hand, so he has got a chance. Oh wow, okay. Can actually trade and get a good weapon again.
Yeah.
Oh, do you just
Crusher.
slam the crusher this turn?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's too much damage, right? And you've just seen Sam.
You just seen that, yeah. I think so. Whereas you can also opt in for no, that's probably just the best. You trade,
No,
crush.
Yeah, you can clear the ball, play
Trade-
the crusher,
Yes.
play the. Do you hold in the
No,
pirate?
I think you go face
No, you
with
play, yeah.
the Fiery War Axe and play N'Zoth's first mate.
What?
Everything has to be handled every single step of the way he's doing this. Or I guess he can hold in N'Zoth's first mate.
I think you
for the
hold in
Crusher,
N'Zoth's
and then
first
have
mate
it
for
with
next
the,
turn, right?
Have it with the cultist.
You can also just play it. I mean,
Sure.
I think it doesn't matter too much.
I mean,
If your next turn doesn't want to be pirate or pirate, you want to be fluctuative or
just play
you-
both minions now.
Yeah, you also just want to have options for the next turn, right? You play the N'Zoth First Mate now, and if you need your mana to do something else than N'Zoth First Mate and Bloodsail Cultist, well, then you just do this something else.
And I guess the thing here as well is there's still 3 damage from the weapon now.
Yeah,
The N'Zoth's first mate has to be dealt with
Exactly.
as well as the crusher.
Exactly.
And if either of those things don't happen, you win. right?
yeah, that's right. And
Okay,
you
I
win.
like this actually.
You know, I look at this board, and I was thinking that Gadget Sand, Cold Blood into Conceal is about the only way you're getting there. Because Azure Drake's not doing it.
Nope.
And now
I
how
don't
does he
think
draw
so.
enough?
I mean,
damage
it would have
Yeah.
to be like Azure Drake Sap, right? For the second
Yeah.
side. It would just have to have been Azure Drake Sap for it to have any chance at this point.
I wonder if he even has Conceal.
It would be crazy. You're not going to play any conceals?
Oh no, that's a tricky one for JJ because he probably still thinks that he might lose.
Yeah,
If
there's
he-
just the damage. is
I mean,
there.
we know that he can at this very moment just go face and confirm the secured lethal with the Black Wing Corruptor this turn because we know that Shaw only has access to 4 burst. But in JJ's perspective, or from JJ's perspective, he might definitely consider this trade here. I mean, I wouldn't mind it because
yeah.
you win next turn
Yeah.
anyway.
I was
I
going
don't
to say,
mind the trade at all.
how hard would you even get punished for the trade, right?
Yeah.
Especially because
Yeah.
if you play the pirate, you have Fairy Dragon with Corruptor next
Yes,
turn for the
that's
3
right.
additional damage. So
That's
I don't think you could get punished hard enough with this trade.
No, I like the trade.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the
it's
trade
so
is a must.
safe,
Yeah.
but you still
Yeah.
set up lethal, so it's like
If
the
he doesn't-
perfect scenario.
If he doesn't armor, he can die to Leroy Cold-Blood Abyss.
Yeah.
Like the trade very much. I also like to play the pirate though.
The pirate
Like the
just
armor.
seals
Yeah.
the deal.
Yeah.
I
He,
mean,
he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to
Sure.
die.
Yeah.
Sure. It's been even more safe.
But it's not really that safe because if now Show would have drawn some kind of the second step, for example, it might have been
Too slow.
Yeah, too slow.
One more
Yeah.
turn, right?
He might have lost the board again, for example. So I really like this 3-4 pirate here. I don't think that 15 damage from Rogue's Hand were.
It's like a reasonable request. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to do it.
Oh my god, we can see the vote count now. I love the way the voting's just live. Because you just see how fickle everyone is. Just like, whoa! Just, like, yeah, I got it right.
Game
in the last turn.
It's coming up. JJ, got to take a quick break as well. And again, I don't blame him. 7-game sets are tough.
yeah.
I mean, this one now has been going on for just over an hour.
Yeah.
And we still have one more game to go.
yeah, man, this is super intense as well because this is single limb, right?
Yeah.
So, the tournament up until this
Yeah.
point has been
Yeah.
group stages, so you can sort of afford to lose a match and then, continue to battle through.
That's right.
In top 8 now on the finals day, you lose a match, you're out. That's it. So, don't mind these players taking breaks, taking their time. As Lee said, these are best of 7s. These are pretty grueling. And if they win, they have more to play for the rest of the day as well. So, definitely a tough one.
And Life Coach, I've seen you have some of the longest sets that I think I've seen of any Hearthstone players. One comes to mind where I think it was a 7-game set where it was a lot of control matchups between the two of you. And if I recall correctly, it was over 2.5 hours.
It was 2.5 hours in the semi-finals of Seed Story or against Taish. Or
I think
I think
it was that
versus
one. Yeah.
Ties.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think it was versus Taish.
Do you get exhausted in those situations? Is it hard to keep a pure focus?
Actually, it was pretty funny because that was semi-finals 2.5 hours, best of 7 to the whole length against Taish, and directly after, followed by the finals of Seed 3, also 2.5 hours, also best of 7, the whole length against Jackie Chan. So that was like a 5-hour follow-up.
That's just perfect for you, though, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it was fine, right? I mean, I guess I'm used to the long games. haha.
Yeah.
So
This is what you do.
yeah, the casters seem to be more exhausted than me. I was at that point.
For us mere mortals, 2.5-hour matches do take a toll.
Oh, and you were right. Here, Tempo Mage.
Well, the polymorph.
It could be Reno.
Yeah,
With the
Oh, it's
poly.
Reno. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
we need to see another card.
No, I was just surprised because in Reno you usually don't run Kalsorsa and Apprentice, but you're right.
He's running.
No, you're right.
He's running
Polymorph.
Cthulhu. That's what the gold sorcerer's for.
No, you're right. Polymorph probably indeed. No, it's Tempo Mage.
That's
It's
probably
just
Tempo
Tempo
Mage.
Mage.
Probably
Yeah.
Tempo Mage. Polymorph for attack.
For the 7/7.
Yeah.
I don't know. He banned Shaman, so I don't even know. Polymorph for.
I guess for the for the Reno locks, for the turn 4 Reno lock.
Oh, really?
I'm just trying to think. think of what the what's
Oh.
popular at the moment.
JJ just also drew pretty good. So Pirate and Lizard First Mate is the best card against Tempo Mage turn 1. Fiery Warwick's the second best, and I guess a Corkin also doesn't hurt either.
And it's just going to be frothing ready for turn 3. If you're feeling pretty good.
So if those don't
Okay,
hit,
you get some. Do you just switch over to War Axe now?
Wow. Well, I'm not going to let the Sorcerer's Apprentice live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
holy crap! If one of those pirates would have survived,
Yeah, that's
Pretty
it. That's
low
a good
chance.
turn.
that would have been coin Bloodstake Cultist
Yeah.
into GG.
Into concede.
So sick.
Okay,
Oh, and
Antonidas.
Antonidas, Barnes. It's kind of like
Okay, late game.
maybe it is Reno.
I mean, we've only seen one-ups. so
Maybe
far.
it is
We've not
Reno,
seen
yeah.
doubles up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's
well,
Tempo Mage
well,
still.
Well, the Antonidas.
Oh, that's a counter. Look at this.
Wow.
It counters the Flame Waker directly.
The Antonidas is just potentially. Oh my god! Every single card is like it still could be either.
Yeah.
We only seen one ofs, but the polymorph sticks out to me as the card that's sort of hinting it's Reno, right?
Yeah. The one thing to me is I've seen Choke play so much Tempo Mage.
Yeah.
And he's so good with this build. Like he knows it inside and out. If he's playing Polymorph and Archmage Antonidas, it's clear he wants to have defined long game plans against control decks. And against the aggro decks, because they're going on in patches.
Oh, look at this. The 4-2 weapon. Oh,
I like this.
You know, Mage operates really well versus 1/1s. That's the thing about it.
So you like the 4 damage on
Yeah,
this,
the arcane blast is what I'd be afraid of.
No, sure. I mean, that was a consideration,
Yeah.
but it's also pretty expensive to utilize your 4 attack hit.
Yeah.
I would have not done it, but
He has Malkorok for turn 7 to
That's right.
reload, so
that's right.
he does have the weapon sort of
Yeah.
the time. Oh my god,
Super JJ is pulling a bit ahead here, though.
is this weapon? Look, it can just kill Barnes.
Yep.
Just full
Oh.
trade.
The Cultist is probably the factor that's potentially deciding this game. That is a big
The
thing.
Frothing is angry. Oh, very angry. 5 damage angry at this very moment.
Yeah.
So there's also Saracen. It's an interesting build.
The
We've still only seen single cards.
Yeah.
The high-end tech cards are what's hurting Show in this game. If these are more dedicated to aggressive matchups, this Tempo Mage build is going to perform a lot better here. But the fact that he's got Polymorph, Archmage Intonitus, Emperor Thaurissan in hand, these are not strong operating cards in this matchup.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. I've got it. Yeah, and this is one of the things in terms of lineup building, right? You know, you can ban one aggressive deck out, but it doesn't mean the rest of your lineup can
Yeah.
just do well versus control because hey, someone might bring a second aggressive deck, and then
That's right.
you kind of open, right?
So-
I keep hitting myself in the head with this hat.
But it's still 28. Okay, so I mean, it's still not over yet. I mean, this Micro can also always get bad weapons.
Flame
right?
strike
So-
off the top.
Yeah, Flame Strike off the top is also sealing it. Yeah.
A little
so
bit nervous about Curse Blade. You're like, yo.
What is this? The Dragon double trade and Berserk to the face if you have. But you could also just trade the Berserk because also of the portal. There's
Yeah.
also the portal,
That's
right?
exactly what I was thinking was Portal or even just Frostbolt in this situation. It's better to be wide on board
but
versus
this is-
Tempo Mage usually.
If you double trade, you confirm 3 more face damage though. But yeah, it's much. Yeah, okay.
And
so
the thing is, well, okay, so you've got a double trade. I wonder just how close it gets him to the Crusher next turn, but he's going to be there anyway if he wants to
Babbling
be.
Book.
Still only one ofs.
That's true. It brings. Oh no, if there would have been Flame Strike, it would have not brought him to it. Yeah.
Counterspell, not
It's
really going to get the
awful.
work done.
Doing nothing against Control Warrior.
So is this just gonna? This is gonna have to just be Mana Worm, Polymorph, Pink here.
Well, I think he's playing the counterspell. You know, it may throw off JJ's turn a little bit. Like, do you just jam a Crusher down into a secret that you don't know what it is?
Sure. Yeah, that's probably worth more than the Ping,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And plus, this sets up the Mana Worm trade into the Azure Drake with the Ping next turn.
Yeah, I like the counterspell here a lot better.
Yeah, no, that's actually better. Yeah.
Yeah, also buffs the Mana Worm.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah.
So he checks with either Frothing or the Alex Shaw's champion here.
It's gonna just check
First with the sheep.
Yeah,
Sure, sure. I mean, that's, you know.
Vape.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
For the life binder.
Okay, now I know it's not Mirror Entity.
A blade be
And this is great. The Frothing pickup was great because
Yeah.
it means that he can do this and not really get
Yeah.
too punished by it. A Flame Strike is still a problem, but this just massively plays around the entity.
Yeah. He also knows that there is no Flame Strike. That's also a pretty huge deal.
Okay. It could still be Ice Block as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
with
sure.
Antonidas coming down,
Well-
JJ kind of has to think about this with the combination from the Frostbolt as well.
Oh, this is so important, this weapon now. Oh, man. This weapon has to be a standard weapon. Otherwise, the Antonidas will just completely
But
demolish
this
the
weapon
whole
needs
bird.
to do 3 damage.
Oh, man. This is such a tense...
Oh, is it cursed?
no.
No way!
Oh my God!
No way!
24,
It's
34
over.
damage. Show.
It's over.
Malkorok,
Oh,
no!
man.
I
No
cannot believe
way.
it.
JJ is
Oh,
out
man.
based on that Curse Blade.
Oh my gosh.
Anything else wins the game right
Yeah.
here and now. This curse
Oh,
blade,
my
man.
Show needed to draw Frostbolt to live on that turn.
Yeah.
Then he had to have
The
Super
monkey, the
JJ
show
play
monkey.
Malkorok and get unlucky with the Curse Blade. That is unbelievable.
This is... I
Wow.
don't have words for that. It's just crazy. Super JJ goes crying.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Absolutely understandable. But
Wow.
Show was the winner, and he is going to move on. And it looks like he is able to join us now as we scooch up, get cozy onto the couch.
Holy moly,
Moly.
Show. What on earth is going on? You know, I put you on Tempo Mage. I've seen you play a lot of this deck in the past. Talk to us about this series, about your lineup, and just about the match in general. This is a great set to watch.
So before this matchup, it was probably JJ is probably the hardest opponent in the top 8. So you know, it was rough coming in to the match for sure. I didn't know what fourth class he brought. It was Rogue, so that was actually fine for me, I think. And I knew he was banning Warlocks, so I feel like as long as the Priest doesn't sweep me, I'm fine. So I'm kind of scared about this Priest because it kind of can sweep me.
It was
Raven.
close enough, right? But then you could be victorious over the priest.
Yeah.
Like, and that was then also the turning point. But in the end, it was already, again, very, very close. I mean, being 3 against 3, this Antonidas, you really need this weapon not to be 3 attack. Otherwise, you don't have anything in the hand left to counterfeit this warrior. How did it feel when the first blade came off?
I actually feel bad because, you know, it sucks. It has happened to every Hearthstone player, so it feels bad. But
Everyone's been there.
Of course, I'm happy
Yeah.
when I saw it. You know, it was.
I don't
crazy.
believe you. I'm feeling very bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a super awesome series going in. You say, like, you know, you thought JJ was the hardest opponent that you were going to face. What did you think about the lineups as well? Was that in terms of that, just were you just really scared of the priest and that was it, pretty much?
Both, like, because JJ is probably like one of the best players, so I really respect him as a player, and also his lineup was pretty good as well, I think. So both ends, basically.
Yeah. As bad as it could have got, but you did win, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
victory here. It was certainly a pleasure to watch, and what a spectacular ending to this one. Good luck in the top 4 of this event.
Thank you.
So that's going to wrap up our first match here at Seat Story Cup, and I'm hoping the rest of them can deliver in the same way. We've got plenty more matches. We are playing down to a champion today, guys, so don't go anywhere. More Seat